We're back with Transformers Cyberverse Season 3, Episode 6, It's the Dead End. As we learned in the last episode, the Quintessons have invaded Cybertron and placed everyone in a virtual world called the Loop. The only ones left are Hot Rod, Clobber, and Perceptor. Like in the previous episode where Hot Rod was at the Autobot parade and was trying to rescue Bumblebee, Clobber is now at the Decepticon version of the Loop and is trying to save her buddy Lockdown. But like Bumblebee, he seems strangely preoccupied with the parade. Also, like in the Autobot version of the parade, a cube of beryllium falls off the float, this time hitting Skybite.
Ha ha, you boat heads.
Again, like in the previous episode with Hot Rod and Bumblebee, Clobber is trying to get Lockdown to transform, and apparently the act of transforming somehow breaks the link, kind of like taking the blue pill in the Matrix. Or was it the red pill? Anyways, Lockdown seems to be too entranced by the parade, but Dead End seems to be more lucid and actually does as Clobber said. Dead End is shocked to find himself in a field of Transformers wearing helmets that I assume are both keeping them locked into the loop and also feeding off their sparks. I'm honestly surprised they didn't have them in stasis pods, kind of like the pods in the Matrix. After tripping the alarm, Dead End flees the Sentinels, the Quintessons, and ends up hiding in Shockwave's old lab, which also just so happens to be where Hot Rod and Clobber are. Clobber finds this thing again. We still don't have any explanation of what this thing actually is. All we get is Clobber saying that Shockwave used to experiment on her with it, which sounds absolutely horrible, but I guess we shouldn't be surprised. This isn't the first time we've heard or seen Shockwave experimenting on his own comrades. Well, Hot Rod and Dead End scuffle, drawing the attention of the Quintessons. They flee to their base, but end up leading them straight to their only place of sanctuary. They run again, and end up at McAdam's bar, where it turns out McAdam himself is still there. And that's the end of the episode. Not much else to say. We've got some more Matrix references, and it's interesting that the Autobots and Decepticons have their own separate loops. Personally, I would have written it so that they're in the same loop, but altered the perception of the Autobots so that they see the Decepticons as just generic Autobots, and the Decepticons just see the Autobots as generic Viacons or Seekers in the case of Jetfire and Windblade. Although, I guess you then run into the issue of how do you have both Megatron and Optimus as the Grand Marshals in the parade? What if to Optimus, Megatron looked like Elita 1, and to Megatron, Optimus looked like Mega Empress? They could even have a kiss. Okay, that might be too /fiction-y for this show. I'm glad that we finally got some kind of explanation of how Hot Rod survived. Although, not really. I guess Hot Rod wasn't as fatally wounded as we thought. And we got even less of an explanation of how the Quintessons took over. Also, I forgot to mention in the previous episode, but I was surprised that Clobber's alt mode is kind of a hover tank thing. I thought for sure she'd turn into a plane like her male predecessor Lugnut. Speaking of gender swaps, we finally got a look at Skywarp in Cyberverse. And looks like he's a she. I like how she seems super tough, and apparently strong enough to send Strika flying with just one punch. One punch Skywarp? Anyways, I've already seen fan art of those two together, and I must say, they make a cute couple. Hopefully we get to see more of Skywarp and Strika in the rest of the season. Also, remember how back in the episode Party Down, they had that banner above Prime's head that said Judgment, and I was confused as to why it said that instead of Congratulations or something like that. Well, this banner you see above the parade is the exact same banner. So my guess is that they must have already been working on Season 3 at the same time as Season 2. And they had already created this banner asset for the parade in Season 3, so they just reused it in the party in Season 2 to give the scene some more added detail. But maybe they forgot that it said Judgment on it, which was probably meant to be a fun little Easter egg for us fans who took the time to translate it in this season's episodes. But obviously it doesn't make any sense contextually in Season 2. And while we're on the topic of translating Cybertronian, some of the buildings around them say Ultima Ratio Titan. Ultima Ratio is better known as the Last Resort. the final possibility for solving a problem after all other options have been tried and failed. And obviously, Titan means Titan. Titans are giant city formers like Fortress Maximus, Scorponok, and Croatan. I wonder if this could be hinting at something. Maybe a giant last resort city bot? And finally, I'm always happy to see McAdam. The episode McAdam was my favorite episode in Season 1, and I love him as a character. Can't wait to see how he factors into this story. Well, that's it for this episode, The Dead End. Let me know your thoughts on it down in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and do all that other fun stuff. And I'll see you back here soon for the next episode, The Sleeper. See you then.